दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Sorry, just getting ready because Bangalore just finished that game so quickly. Yeah, just got it done with 2.5 overs to spare, with 9 wickets still in the shed. And literally, they never looked like they were in any trouble at all. And I think it's fair to say in those 17.5 overs, Rajasthan didn't even have a whiff. Just that's how consolidating? That's not the right word. Comprehensive. That's how comprehensive this win has been, and Bengaluru has just consolidated their position as one of the contenders of this tournament. Jeez,
of this competition, you could have said.
Of this competition, low-hanging fruit. As you can tell, the jacket was ready, but I don't think my mind was completely ready. Welcome to Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. I think this definitively answers the question, did Rajasthan bat slowly and with less intent?
I think it answers the question that which is the most hospitable state in the country? Hamagni, it's Rajasthan.
Yeah.
That is the question that has been answered.
I just want to tell you, in all fairness, Bangalore's like the Dawn now. They're getting like the same hospitality. They're like the Prime Minister. They're getting the same welcome in every state. They got it in West Bengal. They got it in Tamil Nadu. So wherever they're going, they're winning, and they're winning big. They got it in Maharashtra, and now in Rajasthan. They're dominating these away games.
Yeah. I like the graphic, actually, that we normally put up, where it's got the house and the planes.
Yeah.
They're like flying around everywhere. And they made the ball fly around everywhere today. It was fantastic. Phil Salt, great to watch him. And I wonder, and I suppose it's a separate sort of discussion, the home and away thing. I wonder if at home, just as was the case here with too much caution, and we can say that now, and yes, hindsight is a perfect science, in sitting here and trying to work out whether the two-paced nature, the slowness of the pitch warranted being as cautious. We're always asking the question and trying to work out, are you being too cautious? Just how aggressively can you go? Are you taking the aggressive option? Are you trying to be too aggressive, right? As you watch. And these players are absolutely fantastic, and most times they'll work it out perfectly. And when they do, then they get what is a good score and a winning score on a particular pitch and end up winning the game. In this case, other way around. To talk about RCB, when they're playing at home, if you're asked to bat first at Bangalore, no matter what the surface is like, so even if it's a little drier and it's taking a bit of turn, because it's so small, there's always in the back of your mind as a batting team, we've got to get more. We've got to get more. So players sometimes go at it a little harder than they should, and sometimes will play wrong shots for want of trying to hit the ball really hard. And when it's a good surface, you think, oh, this is going well, but we really should be doing more. Because if we're batting first and we can do this, they'll bat second, they can do it easier, it might slick on with dew and all the rest. So there are all those things to balance, and I don't think it's as simple. When it's a chase, how often we say, oh, Virat Kohli, the master of chasing, right? There's the score, do what you must, and when are you going to win? Will you win after 20 overs? Will you win after 15? Will you win after 16? Like you said, if they batted 20 overs, no question. If he batted the 20 overs, no question.
Exactly, and that's what we've seen with Virat today. He's not out in the end. There's 9 wickets to spare. They won it comfortably. And again, coming back to let's just talk about this game. And you speak about, them being hospitable. They were very hospitable when Rajasthan was batting. It was a little too much It was good bowling, sloppy fielding, but didn't it just look like, when we were watching it, it just looked like Rajasthan was a little apprehensive about going into top gear.
Absolutely. And I think it's also a reflection of the form. If you see that, look at them. They've dominated in each of the 4 stages of the game. 7.5 to 10.83, 8 to 9, 7.4 to 9. And last you can't count because by that time the total was almost done. So 11.8 to 11.6. But it's a dominating performance by Bangalore. And I think the big point is exactly that. There are 2-3 things it's a reflection of. One is that, okay, you haven't played in this ground before. This is your home matches have been at Guwahati. But the second is also the fact that there's all is not well with that top order. They've not got the runs. That, magical opening combination has not worked for you. So both were tentative. And it's to his credit that Jaiswal at least got through that tentativeness and got you some runs at the end. But, Sanju Samson didn't give you the kind of run rate. And Sanju Samson normally, no matter what the situation is, gives you at 140, 145 run rate. He's never slow. But he was tentative today. Div Jirel has not batted that much. He was the... And the guy who is in form, you want to keep left-right going, therefore you keep dropping Nitish Rana back.
And he plays one ball.
And gets 4 runs. So it's a combination. As I said, now, when things like this happen, it's what happens today with Rajasthan is what we define as a perfect storm. Okay? Tentative batting, not taking chances, an opponent who had a batter who was not afraid to take it on in the beginning, and his co-opener is a master of the chase, perhaps the greatest chaser white ball cricket has ever seen. Yeah. So it's a perfect storm has hit Rajasthan, and you can see that 9 wicket is the result.
Yeah, and I just keep coming back to it, because Rajasthan was put into bat. And again, there's 2 things, right? One, you look at that batting effort, there's so many moving parts to it, right? One, it's easy to look at it and say, oh, they didn't have the intent. Sub 1B of that becomes, they had the intent, but they don't have the form. 2 becomes, the bowling was just so good that it just didn't let them have a go.
Very fair point, which we never raise.
Yeah, is it then just a combination of 3 or a combination of the fact that it was really good bowling against an underconfident batting unit?
Yeah, look, if we look at the tournament this season and look at RCB and ask why they're going well, and also look at in times past what has been their weak point, we would say it's their bowling.
The bowling unit, so to speak.
Yeah, not to say particular bowlers, but when we look at their unit this time round, we're going, liking this.
It's an orchestra.
Yeah, we're liking this, because if you're talking about a new ball, even if we kind of, let's say they haven't bowled, and those are just the names that we have, when we look at those 3 seamers and we say, oh, well, what have we got here? If we're going with the best bowlers, it'd be very difficult in conditions that are even slightly in favor of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Josh Hazelwood for any lineup to take them on, right? If you take them on and there's any assistance with them, you're in trouble. Then, in those same conditions, when you have Yash Dayal to come in on the back of the work done by Bhuvi and by Hazelwood, it kind of is a nice, perfect foil. It could work quite nice. Then on to the spinners, and one builds for the other, right? What one does, the next one can do a little bit more and more and more. And today, turning up on a pitch where they said, oh, it's a little bit too paced, we're not entirely sure we can. A whole big part of that is you're getting no freebies that you can just whack away for 4. Great. You're going to have to be aggressive in that you're going to have to make a play to try and get them away from those lengths. And it's not going to be particularly easy. And you could therefore come off saying, it's not so easy to hit, because I've got nothing to hit. But that's nothing to do with the surface.
Yeah.
It's a lot more to do with the bowlers who have put it in an area where they're saying, no, we're not just going to give you the free ones.
Good point.
You need to kind of come and get these ones if you're going to.
Good point of the freebies.
But exactly. But then if you see the other side, what is it? What does Phil Salt do? The way he steps onto the offside, to combat Jofra and say, okay, takes him over, So what happens? He knows that Jofra is both their most dangerous bowler, but he's also the bowler for whom the ball is going to come on in the beginning. So if you can hit Jofra, he's going to go. Because the ball is at the pace, so the ball's going to come on to you.
Yeah.
So he manufactures, he moves and he manufactures that shot because he's in form, his team is doing well, his mind is clear, and these things make such a difference. In fact, that's what I'm thinking. Today they challenge medical science because everyone knows that salt increases your pressure.
Oh, stop it.
And look at what Salt did today. All the RCB pressure was, that 66 runs just took away all the pressure.
Blood is flowing freely, I'll tell you that. But listen, that's what you'll do to a bowler who you've seen enough of. You're from the same village.
Yeah,
They're
true.
Barbados
From
boys.
Barbados, yeah. But it's also, I mean, to compare the two teams and to speak on form, right? In a situation where you have batters who are in form, what happens is the in-form batter makes a plan that probably is filled with risk.
Yeah.
He confidently takes the risk that is going to have him win the contest because he's in form and getting runs. So he's trying to manufacture ways in which he's going to come up against a guy who's bowling particularly well and try to win the battle. So Phil Salt versus Jofra Archer. And it was a lovely story told on commentary, listening to Ian Bishop. We said, oh, look, we interviewed him, and he stopped short of saying what his plan would be against Jofra Archer because he didn't want to reveal it.
Yeah.
But it was quite evident when you watched. It wasn't so much try and get at his length because he's bowled back of a length. It was more get inside his length and use his pace, and away it went sailing for six a few times. So that's a guy in form.
Yeah.
On the opposite team, you've got a guy talented, just as talented, and some would say if not more, but not in form. And so what he's doing to give himself a chance is he's actually reducing risk. So when he comes in, Jaiswal is, we wish he would bat more than 2 overs, 4 overs, 6 overs. But to do that, we need him to just reduce risk a little bit, give himself a chance, and then he can try and catch up later. So what does he do? He comes in, and to reduce risk, he's not going to take a Hazelwood on from a length that is fantastic and difficult to hit because he could hit one straight up in the air. A Jaiswal on form does.
Yeah, that's the difference.
That's entirely different. So now he takes that on, gets away a couple of times, bowler is off his length because he can't keep bowling there.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different game. And so the confidence on one side or the other, it's a big telling factor that's not tangible, that you could give as a reason, but sometimes it's not really the reason, but it plays a factor in what happens and what the outcomes are from just the intent shown and the plans that are utilized, whether it's a take more risk or take less risk because of what's going on.
And he's just been in amazing form, Phil Salt. Today, his performance, well, he's our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas, Shor Kam Zada. But with him, I tell you, there's a lot of work and there's a lot of noise in the stadium when he's playing because he is entertainment personified.
Exactly, and not just entertainment. He's also de-risking Virat Kohli on the other side.
Yeah.
Because the 173 chase is a perfect chase of Virat Kohli. Virat now can sit at the other end, wait for the loose ball, and he's punished the loose ball. Okay, but he's batted at what? 138, 140? 138, 140 is a perfect innings to play because the other guy is going at 196.
Yeah.
So Salt has also, not only has he played that way, he's rattled the bowlers, he has allowed Virat to just play risk-free cricket, except for that one Sandeep Sharma miss hit which went straight up. And after that, if you notice, Virat didn't hit anything in the air.
Yep.
After that, the next 6 he hit was straight out. Other than that, nothing else.
Yep. As far as Salt is concerned, right? I mean, he came off this Champions Trophy where everyone was kind of questioning, is he for the 50-over game? His 50-over record maybe not that great. But the 20-over game, he has just mastered how to bat. And I don't know if people remember because he didn't play the final last, he didn't play the playoffs, right? But he had a very big hand to play in KKR winning the trophy last year.
Absolutely.
And this year as well, it's like he's taken off from there when he's batting for RCB.
He's been a sought-after player for the last 3-4 years. And when he first turns up, people are not entirely sure because they don't know, right? And then you watch him and you think, hold on, you want him to bat every time.
Yeah, because I just want to add, last time for Knight Riders, he came in as a replacement for Jason Roy.
Yep.
Because he wasn't picked at the auction and then
Yep.
Jason Roy says, I ain't coming, guys.
Yeah.
The only Roy who doesn't want to go to Calcutta.
Exactly.
And then...
That's one of your better ones.
And then in comes Phil Salt and he's just like to the manner born.
Yeah, and listen, you when you watch him bat, you are under no illusion what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, that's not simple because often we talk about batters fighting conditions, trying to do too much, and with him, it's only the trying to do too much bit that you think about. And essentially what he's able to do is figure out how he can be most effective and belligerent on the surface, whether it's going slowly or not. What are his areas? Can he choose correctly in order to put the opposition under pressure? He was talking about de-risking Virat. It's not necessarily the goal, right? Yeah. Because let's take, for instance, a chase that is 220. There's got to be risk at both ends because, you know what I mean? But in a game where it's 173, rather than looking at the de-risk my partner at the other end, what he actually does is he breaks the back of the chase.
Yeah.
And if he does that, then what you have is an opportunity to get that kind of dangling point. I call it an extra point in net run rate. That's why they finish so early, because this guy goes and blitzes it up at the front, finds a way to, and he does, and he can sustain it for a bit, back of the chase done, but also you can now come in over the finish line so much sooner.
Yeah. Look, I don't think the intention is to de-risk Virat. That's not the intention. But what happens as a result is because he's going so hard, the other guy can take his time.
Well, I mean, it's a classic T20 thing, right? One guy's hitting at 200, the other one can pretty much just give him the strike. Or just not take a risk, because the risk is that if you lose your wicket, the guy who's going quick also has to slow down.
Yeah.
So in a way, you're doing preservation for the team as well. But anyway, Salt today, Pommie's absolutely right, just broke the back of the chase in that power play. They got a 65-run power play, after which they needed just about 110 to win in 40.
Which reminds me, 65 is well done.
He didn't say it by mistake.
I'm sure he never said it by mistake.
I got my score guess. I'll tell you something. Phil Salt had made up his mind to get my score guess wrong. I was the highest, and he was going to get mine wrong, so he was going to go higher. But got lucky. He was just brilliant today, and that's why he was our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas. Sure Kam Sada. Phil Salt, 65 at almost a 200 strike rate. Is absolutely fantastic. The Rajasthan bowlers, they just did not have any answers. They didn't even have questions, actually, for the Bangalore batters, because there you go. It's pretty much used everyone. I mean, they were 5 minutes away from Kumar Sangakkara and Rahul Dravid coming in bowling.
Yeah, absolutely. 7 bowlers, and you look at that. Remember, if you looked at the Bangalore bowling card, not one bowler above 10. And here there are just 2 bowlers below 10. There's Jofra and Kumar Kartikeya. Okay?
Yeah.
Everyone else is gone.
And that was it. They tried everything. They tried everyone. But Bangalore was just never a target, which we spoke about.
They were
never a target that was gonna challenge this accomplished, well-oiled, long batting unit.
Yeah, and also what I like about it is it's a batting unit that has seen tough matches also. It's not as if they've smashed through all the opposition every time. So they've seen adversity. They're also a seasoned batting unit. You know what I mean? They've taken on tough times, so I think I like the look of this side. They're now, to be honest with you, they're looking like contenders to me. This Bangalore team is looking like contenders to me.
You needed, if you're a Rajasthan Royals, you needed a sort of Archer magic show.
Yeah.
Where absolutely everything goes to plan. And I don't think he didn't bowl badly today. He just came up against a Phil Salt who was, on the attack and going really well. They needed him to sort of rip out 4, all right, which is not, it doesn't happen too often. Right?
Wickets, ribs.
Whatever. Teeth, whatever you like. But they needed it to go that way, where right up at the top, they're just shaken, where 1, 2, 3, 4 gone. And then the rate climbs. And so now you don't have enough batters, or you don't have all your batters, and the game can start again.
Some panic.
Yeah.
There was no panic.
Right at the start.
Yeah.
And because the opposite happened at the start, there was just nowhere to go. And if you look at Archer's figures, he was either dots or boundaries, and that's care of Phil Salt, and that's in the power play.
Yeah.
And so, it is nowhere
And
to go for him.
Jofra bowled one ball. If you remember, the ball that he bowled to Devdutt Padikkal, and Padikkal got out of the way in such a hurry that he toppled over. It went straight past him. So, anything could have happened. That's why I'm saying, Salt, if you see a guy bowling at that pace who you have bowling for the other team, and you still manage to get your team off to a start like that, it tells you what Salt did to him.
I'm just saying, but by the end, Padikkal was stepping back in his crease and moving away. And that can happen. That kind of bowling coming at you at 150 can shake your very foundation.
He was
it
scary
really
at
can.
times.
Yeah,
it really can. Well,
these
Bangalore.
last few games, he's been fantastic to watch, hasn't he?
He's been quick. Also, I'm just saying one more thing. Magic show, yes. Catching show. Could have had a bit of a catching show, fielding show today. If Bangalore's fielding was below par, Rajasthan was even lesser, if possible. And Joy, if you're going to defend that lower score, right?
No.
Your fielding's got to be just
Correct.
top notch.
They were like a good OTT. Something dropping every minute.
That's very good. I like that. Just drop the mic. Just drop the mic now. Like they dropped the catches. You just drop the mic and walk away.
Actually, I don't need to drop the mic. I'll just ask Theekshana to hold on to it.
Stop it.
What's an OTT? How to spoil a joke.
101. How to spoil a joke 101. But yeah, I think if we were to pick something, Bangalore's had a perfect game, really, bowling and batting. If you were to nitpick on something, well, not nitpick, actually, it was quite obvious, was they'll want to tweak their catching and fielding today. There was a few misfields, those should not be going for fours, etc.
Yeah, the other side of that, the kind of change room side of that, or as you look at things, having won a game, is if we're winning and we've still got lots to improve, we're on the right track. And the things to improve are pretty obvious. Nobody really has to kind of spell them out. Whoever drops a catch doesn't want to and knows they need to improve, and they'll be taking 10 extra or whatever the next day. They'll be paying more attention in the next game and all of that. Any of the things that haven't quite gone according to plan, and yet you've come away with a victory like that and gone so well, really. You look at it, anyone who looks at that scorecard is going to go, oh, wow. They won so comfortably, so easily. Must have been one of those near-perfect games. And in the team that it's not. So, you're still going well in the season, and you've got things to improve.
Yeah, I remember they were one down, but they had 4 dropped catches.
Yeah.
From the other side. So they got that luck also. And the other side, nobody fielded well today. In fact, the only person who had an outstanding fielding effort, I thought, was Phil Salt at one in the boundary where he sort of managed to get. Even there, he stood out.
Yeah, so this is what the points table looks like now after this win for Bangalore, which has also helped their net run rate, right? It's still not as high as Gujarat and Delhi's, but still much higher than Lucknow, who they tied on points with. So they're at plus 0.67 at this point. And Rajasthan, now there's 6 games. They only have 4 wins and they have 2 losses. So which means Hyderabad and that's... Chennai, of course, is right at the bottom of the table. But now you look at the top of the table and then you're looking at the fact that actually Delhi has played the least number of games. They've only played the 4 games.
Absolutely.
But they've played 4 perfect games.
Yeah, and absolutely. And the way Delhi is, that's the point. That with 4 games, if you lead a points table 2 games below, when everyone's played, it's...
And their chances of making it 5 out of 5 are pretty strong today because they're up against a Mumbai team that is definitely not in sync. They are not playing their best cricket. And Delhi has won the toss and put Mumbai into bat at Delhi. So this is a game that's happening at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi, where there was a bit of a storm a day or 2 ago, right?
Yeah, that was the storm that made sure that I wanted to take off at 7:30 and the flight took off at 1:45. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Were you late somewhere or something?
Yeah.
The storm, wow.
Oh, you weren't? Oh, okay. So if he was late somewhere, that's his story and he's sticking to it.
Yeah, he is. He's sticking to the storm story. But Delhi has been the storm in this tournament. 4 out of 4 and comprehensive, solid. And you know what I'm liking? is different dudes are doing their bit in different games, right? Just everyone's kind of standing up. And KL Rahul in that last game was such a statement. But yeah, just the team effort.
And not only that, what happens in a team like this is the one or two players who are not doing well, because they have the talent, you can afford to carry them.
Correct.
Jake McGurk, who was such a monster a couple of years back, last year, suddenly is off the boil. But it doesn't matter to them because the rest are playing so well around him that they still don't need him to really make a big effort. And I think some of the things that they've done really well is their bowling unit is perhaps even better rounded than, Bangalore's is today. I mean, you see that bowling attack in Delhi, it's got everything. It's got all the variety you need and 3 top-class spinners.
Okay, let's look at their thing. They're bowling first, but we can look at their playing 11 and see the bowling team that they're taking. We'll just pull that up on your screen. Well, there you go. There's Mitchell Starc, of course, and Mukesh Kumar. Mohit Sharma, so wily again. He's one of those Bhuvi, Sandeep Sharma kind of characters, right? It just keeps going in this tournament. Then there's Vipraj Nigam, and he's been impressive. Kuldeep Yadav and Akshar Patel. That is a very well-rounded bowling unit.
Yeah, I think critically it's a bowling unit with 3 overseas there, right? Issue with Faf du Plessis.
Faf du Plessis is injured, so he's not playing.
Yeah. So who comes in as an impact player there? Ferreira is a batter, hard-hitting batter.
So they'll need a batter because they're bowling first.
Yeah.
So they'll need a batter, so maybe Donovan Ferreira.
There's a good chance of Karun Nair as well because he's apparently been smashing it in the nets.
Right.
Lots of chances. Samir Rizvi as well. So, yeah, there's a lot there. And if they're going for a lot of runs, if they're leaking runs up front, they'll just bring in Dushmanta Chamira for whoever's finished their bowling. Yeah,
we'll come back to the 11 that they're playing, the bowling team, and you're looking at it. They've got the 6 bowling options in this team. So I doubt if they'll really need that. But when you look at the batters and you see who's coming in there, Jake Fraser McGurk, maybe they open with Abhishek Porel as they did, I think, when Faf was not playing 2 games ago.
Yeah.
And or you can open with KL Rahul, who's in great form.
You could.
Why not open with him?
He's used to batting anyway.
Yeah, and he is. He does that for club and country.
Anyway.
Club and country.
Look, where do you need me?
If your name is Rahul, you have to do everything the team needs. That's a job.
If you're Rahul from Bangalore. You got to do everything the team needs.
Look at this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you too. You need to be separated.
Get in there, son. Get in there. Let's have a look at the Mumbai team. They're batting first. So we'll see their team. The captain, Hardik Pandya, at the toss said that we haven't pressed the panic button as yet, and that's great. They're very experienced, all of them. You have Rohit Sharma and Ryan Rickleton at the top, Will Jack, Surya Kumar Yadav, Tilak Verma, Hardik Pandya, Naman Dheer, Mitchell Santner, Deepak Chahar, Trent Bolt, and Jasprit Bumrah. Now here's my issue is that I just feel like people playing out of position. I don't know why it feels like who will you bat at number 3, right? Naman Dheer has done well at 3. Surya bats so well at 3. But you got to play Will Jacks at 3.
Top heavy.
They're
a very top heavy side.
The point is that the top is not firing for the top heavy team.
Yeah, by top heavy I mean all the players we're looking at are batters who are for 1, 2, and 3. In fact, we could even go. There are many openers and there are many number 3s. Right? And there are 6 of them. Right? So they've now got to go. Someone instead of opening's got to bat 3. Someone instead of batting 3's got to bat 4. So
you're basically saying that 4, 5, and 6 are batting out of position.
So 4, 5.
No matter which way you shuffle the pack, 4, 5, and 6 are out of position.
4, 5, and 6 could be opening and could be 3 and could be 4. Like whichever that.
Hardik's had so much success at 4 in the years that.
The GT
years with Gujarat, and so he's not really played the finisher role. Then he's playing it well now. I mean, he's good enough to bat kind of wherever. But then you say Naman Dheer, Will Jack, Surya. You want to put everyone just needs to kind of push up.
Yeah,
Tilak.
Tilak. Sorry, Tilak at 3 as well.
Everyone's at 3. You see, this is what I'm saying. And in times where Mumbai Indians do well, they're defined roles. So when you think about Surya Kumar Yadav walking in at number 3 and playing well for Mumbai Indians, you think of a Tilak before he becomes Mr. Number 3, walking in. I think it was him and Nehal Vadera who kind of keep swapping around, isn't it? As they kind of were being blooded into the team, and they'd walk in at 4 or 5 rather than at 3. But Tilak, since as time has gone along, they've worked out he can play, and if he can bat for India and get a couple of hundreds, batting at number 3, then he can certainly do that for Mumbai Indians, right? So now, how do you sort that out? That therein lies the difficulty. And you have former captain in Rohit Sharma, who, if he bats, he's going to bat at number 1. And Rickleton, you've got, because he's going so well up at the top of the order. It's a bit of a kind of traffic jam.
It is a traffic jam for them, and that's why they are way back in the line. They seem to be stuck in that traffic jam, which is the points table. And their slow starts, Joy, I'll tell you what has happened now over the last decade and a half. It's become the go-to anecdote that, they always start slow, because in one of the years they lost 7 and then they came back and still went ahead. Right? But that now hasn't happened. And this is a fairly large sample size. Now, they've made it to one qualifier, but when you break that down, you're saying in the last 3 seasons, this team with 5 trophies has come last, dead last. They're wooden spooners for 2 out of the last 3 seasons.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's what, 2-3 things. I think that glory days of Mumbai happened at a time when he spoke a very important point about players playing in position. What happens if you don't is you're not very sure of your role. I'm going to take you to a basketball analogy. There are a thing called ball-hungry players in basketball. Okay, so if you have a team of 5, you need some guys who don't need the ball to be effective. They run well off the ball, they stay away, and you get them the ball, they'll make the right cut, they'll play defense, they get open, they'll hit a 3-pointer, but they don't need the ball to be effective. Okay,
I like that.
Mumbai, a lot of Mumbai players are ball-hungry in a different way. They need the strike, they need to be the fulcrum. So they have 3-4 players who need to be the player.
My Lord,
and
that is
you think about it, and that's the problem. All 6 of their top players, they're all ball-hungry players. They need to dominate to be a part of that.
To agree with you, even in a time where you have assembled the Avengers, right? Because everyone's a superstar.
That's right.
And Mumbai Indians as a team is a team of superstars.
They're the Galacticos.
From the beginning, from inception.
Sachin Tendulkar.
It's a team of superstars. But the trick is, and over the years, this is why they've had success, that they get superstars in their positions. So you get your superstar openers, and they open. You get your superstar number 3, and he bats 3. You get a superstar number 4, and a number 5, and number 6.
5, 6, 7 being Hardik, the Pandya brothers, and
Pollard, the engine room.
Right? And then you get a replacement, and Pollard is done, and in comes Tim David, because that's what he does, right? And you get your bowler who bowls first, and he bowls in the middle, and he bowls at the end. He's still there, young, Jasprit Bumrah. That's how you do it. Go back to Malinga. Go back as far as you want, and you've got the guys who do what they do in their positions. Trent Bolt, whoever you want. Like, you can, as you go back in time and you go to the successful seasons, that's what you see. You see a team set out, even though it's superstars, they fit in their positions exactly right, like a puzzle put together.
They have cast their roles correctly. And when you look at this team, I feel like the bowling, they've still done that this year. Right? With the bowling, they've got Chahar, they've got Trent Bolt. Great opening bowlers. Hardik can do it if they need to do it. Jasprit Bumrah, what do you say? I mean, I don't have to tell you all that the sun is bright, right? And then you have Mitchell Santner. They got as a spinner, perhaps not getting as much from him.
I think Santner is the one that they'd probably want a little bit more from.
And they're going to get another bowler in here because
definitely.
they're batting first.
I think he'll come into his own. I think he's a top bowler. Youngster. Ashwani Kumar.
Could we go back? That means Vignesh is not.
Vignesh is not. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, he's not fit for the game, so not available. So no Vignesh today, which will be a big thing for them because.
So now, if it turns, it'll be Karan. If it doesn't, from maybe Ashwani Kumar.
Karan or Ashwani, depending on how the pitch goes.
It's normally a good one at
Delhi.
At Delhi. And
Runs. They're going to be.
Yeah,
they're
small,
going to score 500 runs.
Six City.
Yeah.
Because it keeps disappearing out the ground.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tough day for bowlers is what we expect.
Six City? Did he say Sick City? That's also true. Joy and
Sick.
I live there, we can tell you. Sick City. Sick. No, you know, so because the two of you are older, I'll let you know. This is how we young people talk.
Yeah.
Like if something is really good.
Good, it's sick.
That's sick, man. That's sick. That's just
Okay.
sick. It's, I'll tell you what.
You-
it's sick how many sixes I hit in this ground. Sick.
Six City
Sick City.
is exactly that.
Exactly that. It's a sick city. It's a sick city. It's a sick city. It's a sick city.
I'm glad both your pronunciations are on point today. Otherwise,
Are you,
there
are you
would be
just
a lot of
impressed?
trouble.
Are you
We're
impressed
not-
by how Gen Z we are?
No,
Is that correct?
He thought maybe we were New Zealanders. They don't say six so easily.
Yeah.
I think our
Stuff
producer
from-
has a very good question for you.
What's the
Yeah.
question?
It's like, are we ever coming back to the show?
No, is Faf sick or is Faf sick? It's a good one.
It's
a
good.
really good one.
He's
Rian.
sick, but he's sick. Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to talk about one guy who's been sick this
Yeah.
tournament,
Yeah.
and that's the Delhi captain. Now, the Delhi captain was the last one to be announced. Everybody was guessing, who's it going to be?
And who did they guess?
It was going to be Faf. Is it going to be Rahul? Is it going to be Axar? Who's it going to be? And Axar is the captain. And Axar has been a really good choice because he's one of those characters. All right, I'll tell you, spend time with Axar, you speak with him, top bloke, right? He's an absolutely top bloke. In fact, the coaching staff, there was a great quote that they said, which is that, and I feel that that's very important for most cricketers who do well, is that it's the work-life balance, so to speak, right? He's got a great perspective on life. He's had a very interesting life, the family life as well. He's learned a lot. He's an interesting guy. And he's got that kind of character, is what Matthew Mott said, that if we're having a bad day, he'll be just as positive and the message will be very similar. I think he also leverages off a lot of the other senior players and the coaches. He's not taken it all on himself. I like, Joy, you've seen this guy as well. He's a top guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, both, he's a top guy, Axar is a top guy, and Matthew Mott, who they have, is actually also a top guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was with KKR one season, coached the women's team, coached the England white ball team, absolutely top guy himself. And again, a guy who understands perspective. Because, sometimes the best coaches can look beyond just what you do on a cricket field and know that if you have a rounded person, because especially in bad times, having a captain who has life perspective is so important because, you need a guy who's not going to be rattled by what's going to happen around. And IPL is a roller coaster tournament.
Yeah.
You're up, you're down, you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. So if you have a guy who's like basically positive and said, okay, let's get on with what we're doing, do the process, results will follow. Axar's that kind of guy, very pragmatic.
We're talking about KL Rahul doing everything that's required for the team. I think this guy flies below the radar because he does everything for the team.
100%.
He's batting at every position, bowling everywhere, power play, end, middle.
Not just the Delhi team,
Yeah.
India.
the India team.
Club and country.
Yeah, club and country. And does it when called upon, when needed. Never disappoints. Each time he gets the call up, turns up, says, I'm right here, I'll win you the game, right?
Yeah.
And can do. Whether it's with bat or with ball. Yes, mainly he's supposed to do it with ball, but he can do it with bat as well. You don't want to take his arm on if he's out in the outfield. You don't want to hit anything near him in the air because he'll catch it. What he is like when you see him and try to sort of speak to him without knowing him particularly well, is he seems a fun guy.
Yeah, he is.
Right? He seems like a guy who's keen on a joke. It seems like a guy who's keen on bull-legging.
Yeah. Yeah.
He seems like
Yeah,
that
he is.
kind of guy. And yet, when you watch him from a cricket perspective, the word I'd use in terms of character, in terms of this trait that I think is necessary for many a captain who goes well, is level.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there's not a lot that's going to happen that's going to leave him kind of down in the dumps. And also, because he's so good, skillful, and probably expects and sets high standards of himself, there's nothing that's going to happen that he'll do that he'll think is oh, I've outdone myself. No,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do well, And when I do, great, done my job. I'm supposed to do well, and when I haven't, oh dear, we've lost. Back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it can kind of be transmitted to the group without necessarily saying it.
And
right?
he's not had to say it this tournament
There you
because
go.
they haven't lost.
They haven't
They
lost.
keep winning.
Yeah. Perhaps he'll be tested sufficiently if and when they come to those losses.
I want to say though, one of my life mantras has come from something he said on my show.
Right.
Where he said this brilliant line, which is he says, my family and me, we believe in Jaisa chal raha hai, chalne do. Which means if it's going well, leave it alone.
Or
Let it happen.
As the Beatles said, let it be.
Let it be. And I love that. Well, I'll tell you one thing though. Mumbai is batting first because Delhi's won the toss, so that's gone good for Axar. They've put Mumbai into bat, and for one guy, this is going to be very important. Is Rohit Sharma. We're all Rohit Sharma fans. Goes without saying. It's like saying the sun is bright, and we want him to get runs. But again, he's up against his kryptonite, which is left arm pace, and left arm pace, one of the best in the world, Mitchell Starc.
Oh, absolutely. It's. I mean, you just look at that and that number. I mean, he's got runs against them, but you know, the dismissals 14 is. I mean, it's since 23. It's 14 dismissals, which tells you that teams are attacking him with left arm pace up front.
Yeah.
Because there is this sense that he falls over himself a bit. So when the ball shapes back in, if you have that ability to shape the ball back in, he is an LBW and bolt candidate.
Yeah, how Yash Dayal got him as well.
Yeah.
So Yash Dayal, yeah.
So the only thing is that you must have that ability to swing it even a little bit back in, so that then he has to respect the straighter delivery as well.
Okay, let's put those numbers up again. Because they're just average numbers, right?
Yeah.
If today he gets 20 at more than 150, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If he gets 25 at
11 balls.
yeah,
25 and 12 balls.
I'm more than happy with that.
Yeah.
Because I just get this sense sometimes, and it's not to say Rohit is in great form. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that like our metrics are all off, you know. And when we look at numbers, we kind of go too much into the guy's average is X and whatever. When people get out against certain bowlers, we've got to assess why they get out to them, right? And it might be technical, it might be whatever, but those numbers aren't bad. When I look at those numbers, at the very least, he's going at a rate of 150 on average. So that means more than often he's whacking them, right? And you want a scenario up at the top of the order, which is where Rohit bats, where he doesn't pad for himself. Let me get through this left armour, and then we'll see what. No. He's got to go at them because every team has to get out the blocks.
Yeah.
If you don't get out the blocks, you don't get those deliveries back. So, yeah.
He's been doing that though. That's the one thing he's not short of his intent.
No, he's not short of intent. But the problem that he's had is that teams have targeted him with left arm bowling. And it's not just India, internationally also, they target him with left arm bowling up front. And my only thing to him is that if you're getting out 14 times to left arm fast bowling, that means two things. You're getting out in the power play a lot more than you want to, because you're not reaching past the power play because not too many left armers are coming on after that. Normally Indians turn to spin, in these conditions. So my point is that it's something that he has also spoken about in a couple of interviews, saying that, we need to make these adjustments, but these things happen, and it's not something. So it is on his mind. So all you need for a player is for something to be on his mind. Like, I completely agreed with you on something when a statement was made about somebody being, saying rent-free in Virat Kohli's head. That was, Virat Kohli doesn't bother about bowlers, at least not at this level. He doesn't bother about bowlers. Yeah. But I feel that Rohit does have a little bit in his mind about left-arm bowling up front. That's all.
Fair enough.
And the point, I suppose, to kind of further augment the point, is beyond a certain number of dismissals, there's not a whole lot you can do. But because the guy's played so long, you're going to have a number that says X against left-arm bowlers, right?
Fair enough.
And so what you'll have, if you have a left-arm bowler and he's a quality one like Mitchell Starc, of course you're going to use him against him. But in that face-off, just because he's got out to them, if you are on his team, you don't want him trying to survive them. You want him still trying to take him down.
He has to
So what does that do? It means he might get out to him, right? Because he's quality as well, right? But so be it, right? You know what I'm
Sophie's
saying?
choice.
So be it. Yeah, you know but you understand what I'm saying? So
I completely get it. Who's going to win that battle today? It's a mini battle with Mitchell Starc and Rohit Sharma. Who's going to win that? Who's going to win a mega battle? Because our mega battle is the guessing game. Because here's the thing. We've not seen the pitch. And even those who see the pitch have no idea how many runs are going to get scored. So therefore, we don't play the prediction game. We play the guessing game. Because it is based on dumb luck and nothing else.
Also, is this the first match at the Firozshah Kotla again?
Yes.
It is the first match because they played their previous 2 home games at Vizag.
Yeah, they did, yes.
Yes.
Yep, first game.
And
So again, we are clueless
We have
about
no idea, but maybe we do. $209.
Okay, I had 2 numbers jump out at me, 195 and 215. I have to go with one of them. 195.
219. You've taken it up.
219 is where
Beautiful. 219. 209.
I fear that it'll be many more.
Could be actually.
I fear that it'll be many more.
I also feel like this is a 2:30 game.
I might go, actually, I'm going Richie Beno. Choo-choo-choo.
Yesterday, that was when the second wicket fell. It was 2-2-2
for choo. Yeah.
It was
correct.
Hyderabad.
Yeah, I said choo-choo-choo for choo.
David Shepherd, umpire Shepherd would have been happy. It's a double Nelson.
A double Nelson and Richie Beno. What it means. I heard
It's a full-on.
I heard your tribute.
Yeah, it's a full-on Richie Beno.
Full on. It's a complete Richie Beno. What does he say? The bone, the beige, the white, the off-white, the ivory? The jackets, yeah.
Perfect.
I'm telling you, there's a total of 3.5 cricket nerds who got that reference. You're one of them.
Yeah, much love to you.
You're my ilk. My ilk, that's what you are. All right, well, that's it. That's all we have time for. We're going to scoot out of here. See you at the end of the 10th over with Cricbuzz Conbox. So do join us then. Thank you for watching. Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. See you in a bit.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad Express, Station, Netaji Bhavan.